Hey guys, BBI here. I want to stop and say thanks for tuning in and checking out whatever the video is about that's about ready to come up next. If you could take a minute and hit subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you enjoy what you've seen here, make sure to hit the like button. We'd greatly appreciate your support. Anyhow, guys, all that aside, let's get on with the show. This is a classic. Contrary to popular belief, this is not a dumbed down version of a Texas Star modulator. I got one of those here that was bought in this project, but it's not going to be worth repairing. It was hooked up backwards. The transistor's blown out of it, the protection diode's blown out of it, the relay capacitor is popped, the keying transistor is blown out, the relay is smoked. Both the power and the preamp buttons were in, so that means that everything was on, everything in it is junk. It's really honestly not worth fixing. It'd take more time than what I'd be able to sell it for. I mean, we're talking like a $200 amplifier, and we're talking about a Texas Star modulator, a V Plus modulator. Like a $200 amp that everything in it is burned because everything was on and it got hooked up backwards. It's the only thing I can think of. Why else would the pro diode be blown out of it? This is not that. This is slightly smaller than the Texas Star modulator with a whole lot more bite to it, a whole lot more bark. This is the Texas Star Skeleton. This is kind of a rare deal. You see these come up from time to time. This one's actually in really good shape. Usually the faceplate's all knocked off the front of it. Stock, these things came with like 455s or 1446s in it. Well, this is also a prime example of what happens when you buy shit off of eBay. Don't buy shit off eBay. Don't. Just get it out of your mind. eBay is a garbage dump for amateur amplifiers and CB amplifiers, in my opinion. I mean, it's like playing craps. Do I give up my kidney to the weird guy in the hotel room in the middle of the night or not? And you throw the crap dice up against the wall. It's a joke. This poor guy is going to lose his butt on all of these boxes, by the way, because what he paid for these off the internet, I'm just assuming was pretty close to top dollar, and here I'm having to sell these at like fair market value. Just because they've been here and I worked on them doesn't necessarily make them worth more money, especially two pills, and especially the ones that are coming up, the condition. I got 3 of them here that I'm not going to even really bother repairing because they're not worth hardly anything. But this little guy, because of its rarity of what it is, was worth bringing back from the grave. I was initially going to keep this one for myself because I always thought these were cool. This is actually a 2-transistor device. And what was in here initially was 2 ST1446s. And it was really anemic at best. The problem was both the transistors in this amplifier were blown up. Bad. Just straight up bad. So I thought, well, if you're going to build a Mona Lisa, build a Mona Lisa. So now what's in here is 2 Toshiba 2290 transistors instead of 1446s. Real deal, old school Toshibas. Hello, audio, 1, 2. That's 200 watts at 12 volts. Let's shut the amplifier off. Let me show you drive. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's about 20 watts. Let me explain to you what I'm talking about. I had a multiplier on 5. Let's go back to 1. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Once again, we haven't jumped off of our 100 watt slugs. That's a 100 watt element, 100 watt element, and a 5 watt slug in reverse. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's show the pass-through tune on this. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That needle's barely moving, and you can barely see it because of the glare. Let's try this again. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. See all my spotlights up here on the ceiling that run light down here to the workbench? They're all designed around this watt meter being dead center of the workbench. Otherwise you get glare on the glass. So, hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, about 21, 22 watts. Gets you 200 out on 12 volts. So let's go ahead and let's bring up our power. And we got her set at 14.9. We're going to go down to the 5x position. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, hello, hello. All right. Hello, 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2, audio. Hello, audio. So, out of this little tiny amplifier, we have ourselves a 250, almost 300 watt 2-pill. Let's see, if I reach down here and bump this up just a scooch more. Hello, 1, 2, 275 to 300 almost. And that's with 20 watts of drive, 20 to 30 watts of drive. This thing is a beast for what it is, for when it was manufactured, and for the time it was made. It's interesting to think that 40 years ago, guys were making these things, and they were doing it without any PCB board. There's a piece of copper that goes down the middle for our ground bus. Everything is what they call float air construction. We see that a lot of manufacturers copied this exact design. It's got a little filtration cap in it, a little tiny freaking 5 amp relay, single transistor, and it's on and it's off. And this is straight up AM only run-on box. There's no other stuff inside of here. It is just straight up wham bam, thank you ma'am, and I'll see you bye. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Hello, 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello, 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 hello. Let's go back up here real quick. See if we can find it here zoomed in like we are. 5 watt slug in reverse. Hello, 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 hello. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Beautiful input SWR. Hello. Hello. 1, 2, 1, 2. Now, could have tweaked on this just a little bit more and probably gotten about another 10 watts out of it, 15 watts, but I didn't think it was worth it. I just wanted to restore it. Because like I said, when this came in, this thing was junk. And I actually did this last week. Or no, week before last. When I started in on this whole thing. I went through this first because I thought it was the most interesting one in the whole pile out of all the stuff that showed up here. This is a skeleton. It's only supposed to do 100. I made it do a little bit more. Look, it's what I do. It's my job. I couldn't help myself. We got rid of the power wires, which were just about this long, and I have no idea why anybody would buy this, but somebody did, and then they sent it here, and then they said, okay, let's sell it, so that means you guys get to take advantage of the situation. So I got to get at least 300 for this to show any kind of level of profitability. Any at all. I mean, honestly. It's got two, $80 parts in it, so it's $160 just in transistors inside this thing. It is what it is. Not mine, need to go some other place. It is what it is. It's got a good cabinet, which is rare, because usually when these show up, they're all full of holes. This thing is relatively rust-free on the inside, which is also very rare for a Texas Star tin. But, like I said, I don't care where it goes. It just can't stay here. Well, this is part 10 in this this saga, the Mr. V project. I'm sure I'm only going to get about 2 video views on this. I have been watching my YouTube normally does about 1,000, 2,000 views per video, but when you release a whole bunch of videos in sequence like this, people's retention drops to 0 and your number of views also drop to 0. It is what it is. These got to go, and the only way I can put them out there is for you guys that are the faithful watchers that are going to be interested in getting them. So let it be and let it go. Gentlemen, my name is BBI. I say thank you. Big shout out to Excess Power. Big shout out to Siglent. Big shout out to Coaxial Dynamics and Bird. I appreciate you, gentlemen. We'll see you. Click, click.